What's up guys, it's Lami of LabelledByLami and you're welcome to the channel. So this is like fulfilling the promise I made in the last video where I said that I will be sharing with you the process of cutting on fabric and assembling this nice and stylish monostrap top. If you didn't watch the last video, I suggest you go ahead to watch it because then you fully understand the whole process of putting this together. I have linked the video in the description box for easy find for you. So at this point, let me share with you a little fun fact about this project. I made this project with less than a yard scrap fabric that I've had since 2019. Please don't judge me. I mean, would I be a fashion designer if I'm not addicted to keeping scrap fabrics with the hope of making something out of them later? I don't think so. Anyway, if you want to see how I made this beginner friendly, easy to make, stylish and fun monostrap top, I suggest that you keep watching and please give the video a thumbs up right at it. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and please turn on your notification bell so you get notified as soon as new videos drop. I will also be expecting to see your comments, your thoughts, your questions, your suggestions and observations in the comment section, and I will respond to them as soon as I can. Alright, let's not waste more time, let's get straight into the video. First things first, let's go fabric shopping. So I'm inside my scrap bag to shop for a fabric, and I got these 4 fabrics with big potentials. Out of the 4, I chose this gold shimmery one for this pattern, and the red one I will also be using to make something else as well. Alright, let's get to work. The first thing I am doing is tracing out my patterns using this transparent paper, as you can see. Then I go ahead to label it and also add my 1/2 inch allowance all the way around. Now it's time to trace out the back monostrap, and I decided to trace this out using my tracing wheel and paper instead, basically showing the different ways to transfer patterns. So like I did for the front, I am also adding 1/2 inch allowance around the pattern like so, and then I will cut it out. Off the camera, I have gone ahead to trace out the other pattern pieces, and as you can see, I have also folded my fabric ready to be cut. So I start laying my patterns, starting with the center front piece, which I am laying on the folded middle of the fabric because I want just one piece of it. I ensure that it is well laid, and then I go ahead to lay the other patterns like so. See, at this point I am feeling emotional because this is looking like fabric shortage, but I am determined to make it work, even if it means reducing the sewing allowance. Wow, looks like I can proceed with it. Looks like reducing the sewing allowance actually works. So since fabric shortage is out of the way or so, I start to cut the fabric. Thank God for management skills. Anyway, I scaled through the trying moments, and now I have my patterns all set. Now it's time to cut the lining. So the fabric I'm working on has some degree of stretch, but the available lining is a no stretch fabric. So I experiment a little by making a tweak, and hopefully it comes out well with no fit issues. So what I did is that I folded the non-stretch fabric on angle 45 degrees, otherwise known as the bias fold. Doing this gives the fabric some degree of stretch as well, which will work just fine for what it is intended for. This requires a lot of attention though, because it's a very tricky method. So I have to keep checking that I am actually getting the necessary stretch for each piece, after which I start to cut.
starting with the center front piece. After cutting, I add the necessary notches and I proceed to cut out the other pieces using the same process. And after cutting all, here is what the layout looks like. The plan is to be able to wear this top without a bra, so I will be making a bra inside it with this wadding. I will be using only the front and side pieces to cut the bra. So I place the side piece on the wadding and I mark the underbust point and the bust point and rule a curve following the direction of the paper like so. Then at the top of the pattern, I measure 1 inch downward and I mark the point at the edge of the paper. Then I connect it to the bust point like so. Also, at the side front, I measure 1 inch in and I mark it, and I will now connect this point to the curve that I wrote previously, making the curve look somewhat like a C, like so. Then I mark the upper part of the wadding to indicate where to face up. I will use the same process for the center front. Then I go ahead to mark each piece so I know which is which. After I have cut the two pieces, I will proceed to cut another piece each, which means I now have 2 pieces each, 4 pieces in total. Off the camera, I cut out another pieces of lining, which means I now have 2 linings each per piece. As you can see, this is because the fabric I'm working on is see-through. Anyway, it's now time to sew, and I first line each piece of lining to its fabric pair, and I will go ahead and top stitch first. Once I'm done top stitching and ironing, the next thing will be to also top stitch the wadding to the fabric by putting the midpoint notches together, and then I go ahead to top stitch. I will do the same for the other pieces, and when I am done, here is what it looks like. Then I go ahead to join the pieces together, and this is what it's looking like at this point. So at this point, I am giving it some notches to relax the seam, and next is to give it a very nice press. But before pressing it, I decide to reduce the bulkiness of the seam allowance by trimming off the excess, after which I then give it a nice press. And to give the bust area a steady roundness, I am pressing the area with a bust ham with enough steam. After pressing it, here is what it's looking like with the cupped shape quite obvious. Now I can move on to join the lining as well. So I am making the lining separately because I want all the sewing allowance to be hidden, and here is the lining joined and neatly pressed. The next pieces to sew together is the shoulder pieces. Now these are the 2 straps for the front and the back. I have gone ahead to line them with the base linings as well, and now I will be sewing the outer linings to them on just one side, after which I will then top stitch each piece to keep the lining down. Once that's done, I will give them a nice press and I will match the shoulders together like so, and then sew with 1/2 inch allowance. Once that is sewn, here is what it looks like, and the next thing is to sew the other side too all the way. I am done with that, and this is what it looks like. Now I will turn the fabric inside out like so. At this point I have to use a sharp and pointy object to get it all out, but I am being careful not to poke a hole in it while at it. It's all out now, and this is what it looks like. Now it's time to give it a very nice press. After ironing, this is what it looks like. All seams hidden. Now I have the front and back strip as one long strap, and the next thing I will do is to fit the front strap to its appropriate position and then stitch it. And here is what it looks like after sewing it down. Now it's time to join the back pattern as well, but first I sewed that. Then I gave it a very nice press, and here is what it's looking like. And now it's time to sew the back lining to the front lining to give me a full bodice. I will also do the same for the front and back fabric, so that once all is sewn, I have two separate pieces like so. But when I joined the lining together, I left 2 inches opening on the side by measuring 2 inches from the underbust point upwards on the side seam. This is where my bra hooks will come out from. Now it's time to attach my elastic to its rightful position on the fabric. For the elastic, I measured the length to be 5 inches smaller than my back measurement for maximum stretch and proper fit. Then I also cut out the hooks. Now this is what I have after cutting. So now I will be joining the elastic to the fabric. I rule a straight line from the underbust point to the side seam. Then I place the elastic on that point on the side seams on both sides like so. Added the hooks and then sewed them together. After sewing, here is what it's now looking like. At this point, I can now pin the back strap to its rightful position. Then I will go ahead to pin the lining to the fabric on the hem, making sure that all the lines align. After then, I will push the strap inwards to lay on the fabric like so, while I go ahead to pin the upper parts too. Once I am done pinning all, it's time to sew them all together, and once I am done, here is what it looks like. Now I am turning it inside out, and this is what it now looks like. And now I'm really just pushing the elastic hook out from the 2 inches hole I created earlier. So this is basically what the inside looks like after sewing. The next thing is to iron this nicely, add a zipper, and that's it. And once that's done, here is the final look. Now check it out on me. Well, this is my verdict. Even though the pattern is perfect, I think I should have stuck with using a stretchy and more sturdy fabric to line it, like a crepe or duchess, preferably a crepe, because that would have given it more stability. But all in all, I have an addition to my wardrobe, and it's really worth it. So guys, till the next time you'll be seeing my face again, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, and have yourself some fabulous time.